Welcome to your deep dive into Aura.
Mhm.
You've given us a fascinating book that explores how to cultivate and project your energy, your presence.
Right.
It's like a guide to becoming the most magnetic and impactful version of yourself.
What's fascinating is how aura doesn't just stop at theory.
Right.
It emphasizes taking action, aligning your senses with your goals
Yeah.
to actually make things happen.
It's not just about good vibes, right?
Right.
It's about using your senses with intention. So Aura breaks its lessons down into three key areas. Understanding how your senses build your aura,
Yeah.
turning intentions into action, and how that connects to emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
What aspect of using our senses to shape our aura surprised you the most?
Honestly, the power of sound. I
Yeah.
never thought about how quickly we react to someone's tone of voice, even before we process the words.
It's true. I catch myself doing that all the time. Like if someone answers the phone sounding stressed,
Oh, yeah.
I immediately adjust my energy, even if they haven't said a word about what's wrong.
And aura explains why that is.
Okay.
The human brain actually responds to sound more rapidly than visual stimuli. So it makes sense that sound is our go-to for urgent communication.
So it's like a primal instinct almost.
Think about a loud shout conveying danger
Hmm.
or a gentle, soothing tone used to calm anxieties.
Right.
Those are instant reactions triggered by sound.
This is why a soothing voice can calm you down faster than any image we're wired to respond to sound first.
Yeah.
Aura also points out that sound is linked to memory and emotion.
Mhm.
Like hearing a familiar song or a loved one's voice can instantly transport you back to a specific feeling or moment.
It's remarkable how deeply ingrained sound is in our emotional landscape. But the book doesn't stop at just observing those connections.
Right.
It encourages us to become active participants, using sound strategically to influence and inspire.
This is where Aura gets practical. It provides specific techniques for using our voice,
Yeah.
tone, pitch, rhythms to guide conversations and inspire action.
Think about matching your pace to the person you're talking to.
Yeah.
It's like creating a vocal harmony that instantly builds rapport. Aura calls this mirroring, and it's a subtle way to make anyone feel instantly understood.
I can see how that would make someone feel heard and valued, like you're really on their wavelength.
Exactly, and the book also dives into how different pitches affect how we are perceived.
Okay.
A higher pitch can convey excitement, while a lower pitch exudes confidence and authority.
So it's like having a secret superpower, right?
Yeah.
Being able to subtly shift the energy of a room with just your voice.
Precisely. And it even suggests creating your own playlist of joyful sounds or music that instantly uplifts you.
Yeah.
Because surrounding yourself with positive sounds can actually shift your energy and enhance your aura.
That makes me think about how certain scents can also trigger powerful emotional responses, like
Mhm.
walking into a bakery and instantly feeling happy and comforted by the smell of fresh bread.
That's a great example, and that's exactly what aura encourages us to do to become scent detectives. To approach scents with curiosity, not judgment, especially when it comes to the natural scents of others.
I can see how that shift from judgment to curiosity could open up a whole new level of understanding, especially in social situations.
Absolutely, because everyone's body chemistry creates a unique aroma. And instead of labeling smells as good or bad, aura suggests asking ourselves,
Right.
what does this scent tell me about this person or this situation?
That's so interesting. It's like using scent as a tool to read people to get a deeper understanding of who they are.
Exactly. And the book also emphasizes the role of fragrance in triggering memories and emotions.
I've definitely experienced that certain perfumes can instantly transport me back to a specific time or place, evoking all sorts of emotions.
It's powerful, and aura suggests exploring the emotional connection we have with different fragrance families,
Okay.
like how floral scents might promote relaxation or citrus fragrances can boost energy and focus.
So it's like using scent to create a desired mood or atmosphere, both for ourselves and for the people around us.
Precisely, it's about becoming an alchemist of sorts,
Uh-huh.
using scent to shape emotions and create memorable experiences. But the book also dives into something really interesting,
Okay.
the idea of enhancing our natural scent.
That's a bit different than just spritzing on perfume, isn't it?
Definitely, it's about exploring natural remedies for a pleasant and appealing scent. Things like reducing stress and wearing natural fibers to allow your skin to breathe.
Okay.
And it also emphasizes the power of diet.
That makes sense. We all know that certain foods can make us smell, well, not so great.
Right, so Aura suggests choosing foods rich in chlorophyll or antioxidants and avoiding those that produce strong odors.
Interesting.
It's like creating a symphony of well-being from the inside out, using scent to enhance our overall aura.
Okay, so we've covered sound and smell. Now let's move on to another sense that's all about observing and understanding the world around us.
Yeah.
Vision.
This is where Aura emphasizes the importance of observing others with respect and authenticity.
Right.
It's about noticing details that reveal beauty, personality, and emotions, all without judgment.
You know, I never realized how quick I am to judge people based on their appearance, but Aura is challenging me to shift my perspective, to really see the beauty in everyone.
It's a powerful shift, and the book even encourages us to help others see their own beauty by reflecting it back to them. Imagine
Wow.
the impact we could have if we all made a conscious effort to see and appreciate the best in each other.
It's like we're all walking around with these amazing auras, and sometimes we just need someone to help us see them.
Exactly, and it all starts with subtle observation, using quick glances instead of staring, and always looking for the elements that radiate beauty or effort in a person.
Speaking of noticing details, Aura takes this a step further with how we use our sense of sight to connect with others.
Mm.
It dives into the power of eye contact and how it can build trust and create intrigue.
And did you notice the part about smiling eyes?
I did.
It's about softening your gaze and allowing your eyes to reflect genuine warmth and emotion.
Yes, it's like letting your eyes smile, which sounds a bit odd, but I can see how it makes someone feel more at ease.
It's about projecting approachability and kindness, which are essential for building strong connections.
Aura also talks about the triangle gaze, where you shift your focus naturally between someone's eyes and lips during a conversation.
Uh-huh.
But how does that actually build engagement?
The triangle gaze is a subtle dance between someone's eyes and lips. It shows you're fully absorbed in what they're saying, creating a deeper connection than just staring.
I've never thought about it that way, but it makes sense. It's like you're non-verbally saying, I'm present, I'm listening, and I'm interested in what you have to say.
Exactly. And it's far more engaging than just locking eyes with someone, which can feel intense or even intimidating.
Aura also encourages us to be mindful of our gaze, to find that balance between direct eye contact and looking away slightly.
Right. Because while eye contact is powerful, too much of it can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's about finding that sweet spot where you're showing interest without making the other person feel uncomfortable.
It's like a delicate dance, finding that balance between connection and respect.
And speaking of balance, Aura also talks about finding what beauty turns you on, which is an interesting way to phrase it.
Right. It's about defining your own taste in beauty and understanding what truly excites and inspires you. Are you ready to dive into the world of taste?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think this is where Aura gets personal,
Okay.
because it emphasizes that just like our taste buds, our preferences for beauty are unique and ever-evolving.
Right.
And the book encourages us to view those preferences as a reflection of our inner selves.
I can see that, like, if someone is drawn to bold colors and patterns, it might suggest they have a vibrant and outgoing personality.
Exactly, and Aura reminds us that those preferences are shaped by so many factors.
Yeah.
Our experiences, values, emotions, even cultural influences.
It's like our taste in beauty is a fingerprint completely unique to us.
And the book encourages us to embrace that complexity, to explore the nuances of what we find beautiful. Because understanding our own aesthetic preferences can help us curate a life that feels authentic and aligned with our true selves.
Aura also talks about those watering experiences, those moments that evoke a visceral reaction within us because of their beauty.
It could be anything from seeing a breathtaking view to encountering a piece of art that truly moves you.
Or even a simple interaction with someone who radiates joy and confidence.
Exactly, and Aura points out that these experiences are important.
Yeah.
They serve as reminders to slow down and appreciate the beauty in the world around us.
It's like those moments take our breath away and remind us of the magic that exists in the everyday if we're open to seeing it.
And the book suggests consciously curating those experiences in our lives, surrounding ourselves with objects, designs, and even people that inspire awe and admiration.
It's about creating a life that feels aesthetically nourishing, a life that sparks joy and wonder on a regular basis.
And speaking of nourishment, Aura also dives into the concept of taste, as appreciating the subtle details in beauty.
It's like savoring those small details, like the way light plays on a surface or the delicate brush strokes in a painting.
And the book encourages us to train our senses to recognize those subtle details,
Okay.
because they often add depth and meaning to the beauty we experience. Even challenges us to find beauty in those details, even in the unexpected or mundane.
It's like Aura is giving us permission to find beauty everywhere, even in the cracks of the sidewalk or the way a leaf falls from a tree.
Exactly. And it reminds us that those small details are often a reflection of the care and effort that went into creating something.
Yeah.
Whether it's a thoughtful gesture or a carefully chosen accessory, those details communicate intentionality and thoughtfulness.
This is making me think about those moments when someone remembers a small detail about you, like your favorite coffee order or a book you mentioned wanting to read.
Yes, those details make us feel seen and valued, and Aura is suggesting that we can cultivate that same level of attentiveness to detail in our own lives,
Hmm.
both in how we create beauty and how we appreciate it.
So it's like a two-way street, both creating beauty with intention and being open to receiving the beauty that others offer us.
Precisely. And I think that's a great segue into the next part of our deep dive, where we'll explore the concept of pleasure as it relates to Aura.
Absolutely, because Aura doesn't just want us to understand these concepts.
Yeah.
It wants us to experience them fully, to let them seep into every aspect of our lives.
So get ready to dive deeper, because we're about to explore how pleasure can enhance our aura and create a more joyful and fulfilling existence. It's interesting how Aura talks about experiencing pleasure through observation. It's like finding joy in watching and truly observing the beauty around us.
It's funny you should say that because I've been trying to be more mindful lately, just really taking in my surroundings. And I've noticed that when I do that, when I slow down and observe without judgment, I actually feel more joy.
That's exactly what Aura is getting at. It's about being fully present, noticing those details that often go unnoticed in the rush of everyday life.
Like the way sunlight dances on water or the way a flower blooms.
Precisely those moments are gifts. And when we take the time to appreciate them, it elevates our experience.
It's like we become more attuned to the beauty that's always there if we just open our eyes to see it.
And Aura emphasizes the importance of silence in this practice. It's about observing without judgment, simply taking in the scene and allowing ourselves to be captivated by it.
So it's not about analyzing or dissecting what we see, but rather just experiencing it fully.
Exactly. It's like becoming a silent witness to the beauty that's always unfolding around us. And the book even challenges us to find pleasure in the seemingly mundane, to transform ordinary moments into sources of delight simply by shifting our perspective.
That's a great point because it's so easy to get caught up in the routine of daily life and forget to appreciate the little things.
Right, but when we make a conscious effort to find beauty in the everyday, it can have a profound impact on our overall well-being.
It's like we're training our minds to focus on the positive, which can have a ripple effect on every aspect of our lives.
And as Aura points out, observation not only brings us pleasure, but it also enhances our aura.
I can see how that would be true because when we're present and mindful in our observation, we radiate a sense of calmness and curiosity.
Exactly. And that's magnetic people are drawn to those who are fully engaged with the world around them.
But Aura doesn't stop at observation, right? It also talks about expressing pleasure gracefully.
This is where it emphasizes the power of subtlety, because overexuberance can actually detract from the experience.
That makes sense. Have you ever noticed how someone who's genuinely happy doesn't need to shout it from the rooftops?
Precisely. Aura reveals that true elegance lies in expressing joy subtly. It's about letting it radiate, not explode.
I've definitely been in situations where someone's over-the-top enthusiasm made me feel uncomfortable, almost like they were trying too hard.
Right, and Aura is reminding us to find that balance between experiencing joy fully and expressing it in a way that doesn't overshadow the moment or make others feel uncomfortable.
So it's about being mindful of our surroundings and making sure that our expressions of pleasure don't disrupt or detract from the experiences of those around us.
Exactly. It's about finding that sweet spot where we can fully enjoy the moment without demanding all the attention.
Aura also points out that composure actually enhances pleasure.
Because when we act normal, when we allow ourselves to simply be in the moment, we can savor the experience more fully.
It's like when you're so caught up in trying to capture the perfect Instagram photo that you forget to actually enjoy the experience itself.
Exactly. And Aura is encouraging us to put down our phones, to be fully present, and to let the joy flow through us naturally without the need to perform or exaggerate.
And the book also talks about finding joy in witnessing the pleasure of others, which is a beautiful concept.
This is where it emphasizes the idea of shared joy, the way happiness can be contagious, and how seeing others happy can actually elevate our own mood.
Because true pleasure multiplies when it's shared right.
Precisely. And I love how the book suggests actively celebrating the successes and joys of others, to genuinely engage with their excitement, to ask questions, and to show genuine interest in their experiences.
It's like we're all part of this interconnected web of humanity. And the more we can celebrate each other's wins, the more joyful the whole web becomes.
And Aura also challenges us to overcome comparison and envy which are often the enemies of shared joy.
That's so true. It's easy to get caught up in comparing ourselves to others, especially in today's social media-driven world.
But aura is reminding us that someone else's success doesn't diminish our own.
It's about shifting our mindset to see others' happiness as a collective win, not a personal loss.
Exactly. And when we can genuinely celebrate the successes of others, it expands our own capacity for joy.
Okay, so we've talked about observing pleasure and expressing pleasure. Now, what about experiencing pleasure publicly without intrusion?
Aura emphasizes the importance of subtlety, especially when we're sharing a space with others.
So it's about finding that balance between experiencing pleasure authentically and expressing it in a way that doesn't disrupt or draw unnecessary attention to ourselves.
Precisely, it's about being mindful of the people and the environment around us, because there's a certain elegance to enjoying something without making it a spectacle.
And the book even suggests practicing silent savoring, focusing on the internal experience of joy without feeling the need to verbalize it or make it outwardly expressive.
It's about letting the pleasure wash over you quietly like a gentle wave.
I can see how that would be a powerful practice in self-awareness because it helps us understand our own impulses and to be more mindful of how our expressions might impact those around us.
And this ties into the concept of being fully present in the moment. Because when we're truly engaged with the experience, when we're savoring every detail, we don't need to seek external validation or attention.
Aura suggests focusing on the sensory aspects of what's bringing us pleasure, to pay attention to the taste, the texture, the sounds, the visual details, all of it.
Because those sensory details become our anchors, grounding us in the moment and deepening our appreciation for the experience.
You know, this is making me think about the last time I had a really amazing meal. I was so focused on savoring each bite, on noticing the flavors and textures, that I completely lost track of time.
That's a perfect example of what Aura is talking about. It's about immersing ourselves fully in the experience and letting the pleasure wash over us.
And the book also introduces this fun concept called the pleasure magician.
This is where it gets into the art of creating joy with a dash of mystery.
So it's about adding an element of surprise or intrigue to amplify pleasure.
Exactly. It's like becoming an architect of delight, both for ourselves and for others.
Or suggests incorporating small, unexpected gestures into our interactions.
Like leaving a handwritten note for a friend or planning a surprise outing.
It's about creating those moments that spark delight and make people feel seen and appreciated.
And it also emphasizes the importance of balancing effortlessness with impact, because true magic feels natural and spontaneous, even if it takes some planning behind the scenes.
It's about finding those little details that elevate an experience without making it feel forced or overdone.
Like arranging a simple flower next to someone's breakfast plate, or sharing a heartfelt memory during a conversation. Those small gestures can have a big impact.
And Aura reminds us that creating these moments of delight doesn't have to be complicated or expensive.
It's about finding those small ways to infuse joy into the everyday.
Like lighting a candle during dinner or playing your favorite music while you're doing chores.
Exactly. It's about making a conscious choice to seek and create joy even in the ordinary moments.
This is making me think about the concept of all in joy that Aura talks about. It's about immersing ourselves fully in the moment while simultaneously contributing our best energy to the experience.
You've hit the nail on the head. It's about finding that sweet spot where we're not just passively receiving pleasure, but also actively enhancing the experience for ourselves and for others.
Because true joy is a participatory sport, right?
Exactly. And Aura reminds us that the fullest joy comes from being fully present, from letting go of distractions, and engaging all of our senses in the experience.
It's about allowing ourselves to be swept away by the moment, to fully embrace the pleasure that's available to us.
And it emphasizes the reciprocity of pleasure, the way joy is amplified when it's shared.
Because when we contribute our positive energy to an experience, it creates a cycle of upliftment that benefits everyone involved.
It's like we're all adding our own unique spark to the fire, making it burn brighter and warmer for all of us.
But Aura also cautions against imbalance, right?
Yes, as well, it's important to give our best. We also need to be mindful of our own limits and to make sure we're not giving more than we can sustainably offer.
It's about finding that equilibrium where we can contribute without depleting ourselves.
And this ties into the idea of being receptive to joy as well. It's about allowing ourselves to receive the kindness, the support, and the love that others offer us.
Because receiving gracefully is just as important as giving generously.
Exactly. And when we can find that balance, we create relationships and experiences that are both fulfilling and harmonious.
Okay, I think it's time we shift gears and move on to the final section of this deep dive action.
Absolutely, because Aura doesn't just want us to understand these concepts, it wants us to put them into practice.
It's about taking all of this knowledge and transforming it into real-world change. And the book provides some excellent tools and strategies to help us do just that, starting with readiness.
Right, because Aura emphasizes that preparation is the foundation of any meaningful action.
It's about aligning our mindset, our environment, and our energy so that we can show up fully and act decisively.
It even suggests creating a morning ritual for readiness, taking a few moments to plan your day, visualize your goals, and set your intentions.
And don't forget about creating a supportive environment because Aura reminds us that our surroundings can have a huge impact on our productivity and our overall well-being.
It encourages us to declutter our workspaces, to surround ourselves with inspiration, and to make sure that our environment is conducive to action.
And it also emphasizes the importance of physical well-being as a foundation for mental clarity and energy.
Things like prioritizing exercise, staying hydrated, and getting enough sleep.
It's about taking care of our bodies so that our minds can perform at their best.
And Ori even talks about the power of small wins, the way accomplishing even the tiniest task can build momentum and create a sense of progress.
It's like that feeling you get when you check something off your to-do list. It gives you a little burst of energy and motivation to keep moving forward.
Okay, let's talk about the importance of preparing our senses for action. Because Aura emphasizes that our five senses are our primary tools for experiencing and interpreting the world.
And when we actively engage our senses, it sharpens our perception, enhances our focus, and allows us to respond to situations with more clarity and intention.
The book actually provides specific guidance on how to prepare each sense for sight. It suggests using natural light or calming colors in your environment.
For sound, it recommends listening to uplifting music or ambient sounds that promote focus and a positive mood.
For smell, it suggests incorporating energizing or soothing scents like citrus for alertness or lavender for relaxation.
For touch, it encourages grounding yourself with textures that bring comfort, like a soft blanket or a smooth stone.
And for taste, it suggests savoring a small, flavorful snack or drink to really awaken your sense of presence in the moment.
It's like creating a sensory symphony that supports and enhances our actions.
And Aura also points out that engaging our senses actually enhances our aura, making us more vibrant and present in the world.
Right, because when we're fully present, when our senses are tuned in, we radiate a certain magnetism that draws people to us.
Okay, now let's talk about courage, because Aura defines courage as the core of any meaningful action.
It's the driving force that propels us forward, even when faced with uncertainty or fear.
And the book emphasizes that courage isn't about being fearless, it's about acknowledging our fears and choosing to act despite them, because fear is often a sign that we're pushing ourselves beyond our comfort zones, that we're growing and evolving.
So it's like fear is a signal pointing us toward the areas where we need to evolve and become more resilient.
Exactly. And Aura encourages us to reframe fear as an opportunity for growth, because it's often in those moments when we feel the most afraid that we have the chance to expand beyond our current limits.
That's a powerful way to look at it. Instead of seeing fear as an obstacle, we can see it as a catalyst for transformation.
Precisely. And the book provides a lot of practical tools for building courage.
Like what?
Things like visualization, imagining ourselves successfully navigating the situation that's causing us fear.
I've heard that visualization can be really effective for athletes, but I never thought about applying it to everyday life.
It's a great tool for overcoming any kind of fear or anxiety, because when we repeatedly visualize ourselves succeeding, it creates new neural pathways in our brains, making it more likely that we'll actually achieve our goals.
That's fascinating. And Aura also talks about using grounding techniques like deep breathing exercises to calm our minds and bring us back to the present moment.
Yes, because fear often takes us out of the present moment, sending us spiraling into worries about the future or regrets about the past.
So grounding techniques can help us stay centered and focused even when we're feeling anxious or afraid.
Exactly. And remember the importance of having a strong support system, because sharing our fears with people, we trust people who believe in us, can give us that extra boost of courage we need to take action.
It's like having a team of cheerleaders who are always there to remind us of our strengths and encourage us to keep going even when we're feeling doubtful.
And Aura reminds us that overcoming fear, even in small ways, has a ripple effect. It not only boosts our own confidence and resilience, but it also inspires others to do the same.
It's like we're all interconnected, and the more we can support each other in facing our fears, the more courageous and empowered we all become.
Now let's talk about one of those powerful concepts in Aura, the idea of embracing the present moment as the only moment we truly have control over.
It's about recognizing that life is a collection of now moments, and that if we want to live a fulfilling life, we need to make the most of each one.
Aura emphasizes that hesitation often leads to regret, because when we delay taking action, when we wait for the perfect time or the perfect conditions, we risk missing out on valuable opportunities.
It's like that saying, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, the second best time is now.
Exactly. And Aura encourages us to adopt a sense of urgency, not in a frantic or rushed way, but in a way that recognizes the preciousness of time and the importance of making each moment count.
I've definitely experienced that feeling of regret when I've let fear or procrastination hold me back from pursuing something I really wanted.
It's a common experience. But Aura is offering us a way out of that cycle of regret. It's about shifting our mindset to embrace the power of now.
And the book suggests using the phrase, if not now, when, as a motivator to take action.
Yes, because it helps us shift our perspective and see the potential that exists in each moment.
It's like a reminder that we don't have to wait for the perfect circumstances. We can create our own opportunities by taking action now.
And it also reminds us that acting now doesn't mean neglecting our future aspirations. It's about taking those aspirations and breaking them down into smaller, more immediate actions that we can start taking today.
So it's about setting big goals, but also taking those small, consistent steps that will eventually lead us to where we want to be.
Exactly, because every journey, no matter how grand, begins with a single step.
And Aura emphasizes that when we live in the now, when we're fully present and engaged with the opportunities that are unfolding around us, we radiate a certain energy.
An energy that attracts abundance, inspires others, and creates a sense of momentum in our lives.
It's like when we're fully aligned with our purpose, we become a magnet for all the good things that are meant for us.
Now let's move on to the final concept in this deep dive, the idea of balancing giving and taking as a key to creating harmony in our lives.
This is something I've been thinking a lot about lately because I tend to be a giver sometimes to the point of exhaustion.
And Aura reminds us that true freedom lies in finding that equilibrium between contributing to the world and receiving what we need to thrive.
It's about recognizing that giving and taking are two sides of the same coin.
Both equally important for creating a fulfilling and meaningful life.
The book encourages us to be mindful of the ways we give our time, energy, and resources to others.
To make sure that our giving is authentic, that it comes from a place of genuine generosity, and that it doesn't deplete us or leave us feeling resentful.
And it also encourages us to be open to receiving.
To practice gratitude for the kindness and support that others offer us, and to accept help gracefully when we need it.
Because taking isn't selfish. It's a necessary part of the cycle of reciprocity that allows relationships to flourish and for all of us to thrive.
And Aura reminds us that finding this balance of giving and taking isn't a one-time fix. It's an ongoing practice, a continual awareness of the energy we're putting out into the world and the energy we're allowing ourselves to receive.
It's about creating a harmonious flow, a beautiful exchange of energy that nourishes both ourselves and those around us.
And I think it's a fitting way to end this part of the deep dive because it really captures the essence of what Aura is all about, creating a more balanced, intentional, and joyful way of being in the world.
It's remarkable how Aura doesn't just, tell us to sit around and smell the roses.
Right.
It pushes us to translate that heightened sensory awareness into real action.
Like Aura is saying, okay, you've learned to observe and appreciate the world around you now. What are you going to do with that knowledge?
Exactly. It's about becoming the architects of our own lives, using our senses and our intentions to create the reality we desire.
And that brings us to the final part of our deep dive,
Okay.
putting all of this wisdom into practice.
So let's unpack some of the key takeaways from Aura's action section.
The first chapter, Readiness Unleashed, really emphasizes that preparation is key.
It's like that saying, failing to plan is planning to fail.
Exactly. Aura encourages us to align our mindset, create a supportive environment, and energize our bodies and minds to set ourselves up for success.
So it's not just about willpower or motivation. It's about creating the right conditions for action to flourish.
Precisely. Aura even suggests establishing a morning ritual,
Okay.
taking a few moments to plan your day, visualize your goals, and set your intentions.
Have you ever noticed how much smoother your day goes when you take a few minutes to center yourself in the morning?
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
like setting the tone for the entire day, aligning your energy with your goals.
And Aura also reminds us to pay attention to our environment
Yeah.
because our surroundings can have a huge impact on our productivity and well-being.
It's about decluttering our workspaces, surrounding ourselves with inspiration, and making sure that our environment is conducive to action.
It's funny how just tidying up my desk can make me feel so much more focused and motivated.
And don't forget the importance of physical well-being.
Right. It's easy to neglect our physical needs when we're busy chasing our goals.
But Aura emphasizes that when we prioritize things like exercise, hydration, and sleep,
Yeah.
it actually enhances our mental clarity and energy.
It's like we're giving our minds the fuel they need to perform at their best.
The next chapter, The Sensory Edge, dives into how engaging all five senses can actually enhance our readiness for action.
It's about being fully present in our bodies and using our senses to gather information and make decisions and respond to opportunities with more clarity and intention.
Think about it when we're feeling scattered or overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It's often because we're disconnected from our senses.
So tuning back into our senses can help us feel more grounded and present.
Exactly. Aura encourages us to use our senses strategically.
Like how?
Well, for sight, it suggests using natural light or calming colors in your environment.
I've definitely noticed that I feel more relaxed and focused when I'm working in a well-lit space.
And for sound, Aura recommends listening to uplifting music or ambient sounds that promote focus and a positive mood.
There's a reason why so many people listen to music while they work or study.
It can help drown out distractions and create a more focused and productive atmosphere.
Aura also talks about using aromatherapy to enhance our mood and energy.
Scents like citrus can boost energy and focus, while lavender can promote calmness and relaxation.
So it's like creating a sensory experience that supports our goals and intentions.
And let's not forget about the power of touch.
I love the idea of incorporating different textures into our environment.
Things like soft blankets, smooth stones, or even just the feeling of the sun on our skin can have a calming and grounding effect.
And Aura also suggests paying attention to taste.
Savoring a small, flavorful snack or drink can help us feel more present and engaged in the moment.
It's like we're awakening all of our senses and inviting more joy and pleasure into our lives.
Now let's move on to the bold edge,
Okay.
where Aura reminds us that courage is the core of any meaningful action.
It's about acknowledging our fears and choosing to act despite them.
Because fear is often a sign that we're pushing ourselves beyond our comfort zones, that we're on the path to growth and expansion.
Aura encourages us to reframe fear as a signal, not a stop sign.
It's an invitation to step into our power and become more than we currently are.
And the book provides a lot of great advice for building courage.
Things like breaking down a daunting task into smaller, more manageable steps, or using visualization techniques to mentally rehearse success.
I love the idea of visualization.
Yeah.
It's like we're creating a mental blueprint for success, which can make it feel more achievable.
And Aura also emphasizes the importance of having a strong support system.
It's so much easier to face our fears when we know we have people who believe in us and are cheering us on.
And remember, even small acts of courage can have a ripple effect.
It's like a chain reaction, inspiring others to step into their own bravery.
Now let's talk about solitary strength, where Aura explores the power of harnessing independence for impact.
It's about recognizing our own strength and resourcefulness.
Trusting our instincts and taking action without needing constant validation or approval from others.
Aura encourages us to embrace solitude as a source of creativity, clarity, and focus.
Because when we remove the distractions of the outside world, we can tap into our inner wisdom and make decisions that are truly aligned with our hearts.
It's like giving ourselves the space to hear our own inner voice to connect with our intuition.
Or I suggest practicing independent decision-making even in small ways to build confidence in our own judgment.
It's about trusting ourselves even when it feels scary or uncertain.
And the book also reminds us that while collaboration is valuable, there are times when we need to rely on our own inner compass to guide us.
Okay, let's dive into the present imperative, where Aura really drives home the importance of living in the now.
It's about recognizing that this moment right now is the only moment we truly have control over.
Aura reminds us that life is fleeting,
Right.
and that every opportunity we encounter is unique to this time and place.
So if we want to live a life filled with purpose and meaning, we need to make the most of each and every moment.
The book encourages us to act with intention, to make choices that are aligned with our values, and to leave a positive impact on the world around us.
And Aura offers some powerful tools for embracing the present moment.
Like what?
Like the 5-second rule, where we count down from 5 and take action before our minds can talk us out of it.
It's a great way to overcome procrastination and tap into our impulsive energy.
And Aura also suggests setting a daily action goal,
Okay.
choosing one specific thing we want to accomplish that day and making it a priority.
It's about taking those big dreams and breaking them down into smaller, more manageable steps.
Okay, I think it's time we wrap up our deep dive with freedom and balance, where Aura emphasizes the importance of finding that sweet spot between giving and receiving.
Because when we can create a harmonious flow between contributing generously to the world and receiving gracefully what we need to thrive,
Yeah.
we unlock a whole new level of freedom and fulfillment.
Aura encourages us to be mindful of both our giving and our receiving,
To make sure that we're giving from a place of abundance, not depletion.
and to also be open to receiving the support, the kindness, and the love that others offer us.
Because when we can find that balance, we create relationships and experiences that are both nourishing and sustainable.
It's like we're creating a beautiful ecosystem where everyone thrives.
And with that, you've completed your deep dive into Aura. You now have a toolbox filled with actionable steps that you can start using today to cultivate and project your own unique and radiant aura.
Remember, your aura is a reflection of your inner self, and it has the power to shape your reality.
So go out there, engage your senses, take bold action, and let your aura shine brightly.
What small but bold action will you take after this week? Keep that in mind as you finish.